And welcome to day 12 of our 30-day live challenge. Today, like we talked about yesterday, we are going to be talking about the silence and what that silence is really saying. The siblings you don't talk to, what the silence is really saying. That's the topic for today. So, um, in fact, without any waiting, let's dive straight into it. Since we were already 17 minutes late in this. So, what is that silence saying? Because silence is not nothing. It's not nothing. It's a message, right? So you have a sibling, someone who knows your past like no one else. Someone who was there in your photos, in your memories, in your rooms, the same dinner table, and yet you haven't spoken to them in months, maybe years, maybe even decades. You have not exchanged a word with them. And it's not loud, it's not explosive, it's just quiet. In fact, too quiet. But here's the truth that most people avoid. That silence is not empty, right? It's not empty, it's not nothing. It is something and it is saying something. And today we're going to talk about it. We're going to name it. We're going to stop pretending that silence is peace. And we're going to look at heartbreak straight in the eyes. Because a lot of times we do tend to pretend that we are away from them, we don't talk to each other, and therefore we are at peace. That is an idea, maybe good for some, but it's just an idea. And it's a pretending, it's a pretense that we are embarking on by that idea. So we are going to stop doing that, and we are going to look at this heartbreak straight for what it is. Okay. So before we move forward, right, let's take a look at the emotional stakes here, because the cost of okay, hold on just a minute, something popped up. So the emotional stake that we have here in this conversation is that the cost of a relationship that once was. What is the cost of a relationship that once was? There's no pain like family silence, okay? I have experienced it, and I'm sure if you are aligned with this conversation here today, and you are a witness to this episode or this live or even a replay, you are somehow connected to this subject. So there is no pain like family silence, because when that happens, you don't just lose a person in your life, you lose a history, you lose a witness, you lose a mirror to who you were, right? And it messes things up, it messes with your mind, because one part of you wants to just forget it, and the other part keeps on checking the phone for every birthday, every holiday, wondering if maybe this year, maybe today, they'll say something, anything, something at least. But they don't. They just don't. They're silent. And you tell yourself that I'm fine. it's their loss, I've moved on, so on and so forth, right? We tell that story to ourselves, and we feel that saying this makes us not feel the pain. But the reality is that the ache, the pain still lingers. And the worst part is you don't even know how you got there, right? So so let's talk about it today. Let's let's unfreeze this silence. And like every day, let's start with the grounding ritual. And today we are going to call this grounding ritual the coming back to the you that still cares. Let's come back to ourself, the self who actually still cares about that relationship, about our brother, our sibling who has closed doors on us. Okay, so let's come back to the you that still cares. So I want you to put your hand over your heart and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it, out through your mouth. Let's do it again. Hold, out, let it go. Now say this to yourself: I can hold space for what hurts and still stay soft. Say it again. I can hold space for what hurts and still stay soft. Breathe that in, let it out. And know that you're not alone in this. All right? You're not alone. So let's take a look at what are we aiming for in this conversation, the core shift that we intend to make today. What are we aiming for is the silence speaks when you're too afraid to say the truth, right? That's what we need to understand. The silence speaks when we are too afraid to say the truth. See, siblings, silence between siblings is rarely a result of, you know, it doesn't come out of nowhere. That's what I want to say. It's a build up, right? It's a build up of things that are left unsaid, the the of misheard intentions or emotional bruises that no one apologized for, right? We wanted to say something but we never said. We wanted someone to understand us but they never did. We wanted them to feel how we feel so that they can understand what we are going through but they never did. We loved them and we saw that they did not respond. Because sometimes that that buildup that we are talking about, right? That distance, it comes from sometime it comes from anger, sometime it comes from shame, sometime it comes from the feeling like there's no point in trying anymore, right? Don't we say that sometime that he's moved on too far away from me, there's no point even trying? Why do we give up? Do you give up on your life? You don't. Siblings are a part, an extension of your life, right? If we don't understand this, it would be so easy for them to just walk away out of your life and we'll be fine. We won't it, they won't even matter. But the fact is they do. Even if you don't realize it, they do. So no matter the reason, here's what I want you to know. The silence is saying something, right? It is saying something. It's not nothing. It is something. And it might be saying that I don't know how to come back. It might be saying, I'm too scared of being hurt again. That could be the reason for this silence. I want peace, but I don't know where to start. That could be the reason for this silence. And maybe that's true for them, right? But maybe it's also true for you, right? Maybe you don't know how to go back. Maybe you don't know how to start all over again. Maybe you don't know how to reach out. Maybe you do want peace, but you don't know where to start. That could also result in silence. It is not that they are always at fault when the silence starts. It is not that you are at all always at fault when the silence starts or it ensues. No, it's not. It could be just that none of you know how to come back again, how to come to the home that you were to each other. It could be just that, right? So, what do we do when a relationship has gone quiet? What is the way out? What do we do in that situation? So, let's break it down into three hard but healing truths, right? And number one is that silence isn't always about you, like we said, right? It's not always about you. Sometimes we make their silence about us. I must have done something. They don't care anymore. Does your story look like this? But here's the thing, right? Their silence might be about their own pain also, their own confusion also, their own limitations also, their own learning also, right? People do go quiet when they don't have the tools to heal or to deal with the situation like this. And not having the tools doesn't make them bad. They are the people who feel just stuck. Now, I'll give you an example. Like, you know, I used to be in a situation where if I hear, you know, somebody died in the family, and I'm telling you the truth here, honestly, and it happened with me in my family also, I did not know how to handle this news. I did not know how to reach out to those people and give them my shoulder so that they can rest their head, heart, soul on it, stand beside them, and help them pass through this hard phase of their life. I did not know how to handle that situation. So, no matter how close I was, I used to just stay back for it and give them the time as long as they needed to be out of this situation, and then I would reconnect. This is how it was. Not anymore though, but that was one phase that was like that. And that caused confusion in the minds of people who were close. They were expecting me to be there for them, and I was not. I was not. And that silence caused issues. Silent caused issues in the relationship because they felt he should have been here with us and he was nowhere to be seen. That is truth. That is the truth. I was nowhere to be seen. But there is also one truth that no matter, apart from this situation, no matter what would happen, if they needed my presence in their life, I will not leave any stone unturned to stand by their side no matter what. Just no matter what. I will be by their side. But just this one thing was something that I did not know how to handle. That caused the silence. Now, everybody is going to interpret the silence differently depending on where they are at in the understanding of life situations in their life, right? So, it could mean a lot of things. It just does not mean that you are at fault, okay? So, silence is not always about you, it could be about the things that the other person may be going through and they don't know how to handle it. That is no reason for you to just back off and end that relationship or the tie there. Okay, so that's one. The insight two is you don't need a full conversation to begin healing, right? You just need to start. And that's how I used to do. So, taking the example that I just took, after a while, when I thought that they are relatively out of their situation, um, so I would reach out and just begin a short conversation, and things would naturally start building from there. And I would be able to just bring them back home because my energy was always there for them. They could feel it, and they would naturally come back to me because I was always with my open heart and hands ready to embrace them. So you don't need a full conversation, like I said, to begin healing, right? You think that it has to start with a long talk. It does not. It doesn't, right? It starts with intention. It starts with a letter or a message or a phone call, right? With a prayer that you just whisper into the universe. That's what I used to do, right? I'm open to healing when you're ready. Sometimes even just holding that vibration shifts everything in life, right? Even if they don't respond right away, even if they never do, right? What if they never do it? You're not just healing the relationship, right? You're healing your relationship to the silence. You're not just healing your relationship to them, you're also healing the relationship to the silence. Now I understand how to handle that situation. I did not know back then, right? So just holding that space for that intention could be a start. Do that. You don't need to start the whole conversation, a huge conversation, in order to rebuild the trust. It can start with a very short conversation. Insight three is waiting for them is not the only option, right? Waiting for them is not the only option. A lot of times we do that. We just wait for them to call us. We wait for them to respond. We wait for them to reach out. And maybe you've been waiting, right? Years even. And I get it. I do get it. You don't want to be the only one who reaches out again. I get it. You don't want to be the only one who tries. I get it. But what if this time it's not about effort? What if it's not about effort? What if it's about the energy, right? What if you reached out from the healed place, not the desperate one that's trying to rebuild, reconnect. No, not that. You reach out by the healed heart. What if you simply planted a seed, right? And let it grow, let it breathe. Just start that. Not with desperation, but with healed heart. Because sometimes your softness can break through what the pressure ever could. And it is true. I have seen that enough times to know that this is the truth. Maybe not the only truth for some people, but I know beyond the shadow of any doubt that this is true. Your softness can definitely break through what no pressure ever could. So let's transition into the soul questions, right? Without taking too much time on this. And I wanted to really think about it as we go through these lives, and see how they are helping you, right? So on this topic, let's go inward, okay? Because you've been holding a lot, and you deserve clarity, and that's the whole point of having these lives daily, to bring about the clarity. Because unless you know what you want and you have the clarity on it, there is hardly, you know, a distance that you will be able to cover in a positive manner. So you must know what you want, and you must have absolute clarity on it. So that's what these soul questions are, so that you can get clarity about the situation that you are in, and where you want to take your life and the relationship with your brothers and siblings and whoever you intend to improve your relationships with. So that's the whole idea behind these lives and the soul questions and exercises that we do. So coming to the question, these are the three questions that we are going to be talking about today. What are you pretending not to feel about this sibling silence? There's a silence. We know that there's a silence. That's why you are here. We are talking about it. You're listening, and you want to understand the silence. So let's begin with ourselves. What are you pretending not to feel about this silence? You may be covering some things up. Oh, it's not like that. I'm okay, right? I've moved on. Life is like that. Their family, that's fine. No, it's not. You need to understand and know what's going on behind the scenes, behind that veil of pretense. What are you pretending not to feel about this sibling silence? It may be hurting, but you're pretending that it's not. Think about it. Question two: if you could say anything to them without fear, right, what would it be? And I want you to actually get everything out. We talked about it yesterday also, but this is the key to just unraveling the world inside you that is covering up the peace, the tranquility, the bond, the connection, the love, right? It's lying underneath that, and underneath those pretense, underneath those cover ups. We need to unveil all of that. And the only way to do this is going through these exercises. What if you could say anything to them without fear? What would it be? Get it out. Get it out on paper, as if they are listening to you with an intention that they will understand you, right? Because the intention, like I said yesterday also, energy travels with intent. Whatever intention you have and you let go of it, it will travel in the direction of your intention, right? That energy will go wherever you want it to go. It'll do whatever you want it to do. So, if your intention is that with the purity of your heart, you are talking to your brother, you are talking to your sister, and you form an intention that they are understanding you. They're not there in front of you right now, but in intention is that they are understanding you, because there's a version of them that does understand you. There's a version of them who does not. That's why you have this problem. But there's a version of them that does understand you. And when you talk to that version of them, they will get it. And because your intention is to talk to this version, that's the direction, that's the timeline that you will follow. And you will eventually be connecting with this person, this version of them. So move yourself from this version to this version here, right? So share that bond, share that connection, share whatever comes to your mind to this person, because you know they understand. So if you could say anything without fear, what would you say? Say it. Question three: what kind of relationship do you want? Do you actually want with them moving forward? Right? Clarity. That's what the focus is. Clarity. Be clear about where you want to take this relationship, right? You need to pause, write, reflect. Let it open some things in you, right? Be clear. If you don't have clarity, you will not receive what you intend or expect to receive in life. You, let's say you are ordering something in the hotel, right? In the restaurant. If you're not clear about what you want, what do you expect will, be in front of you on your table? Same thing is true with the energy that you carry. Universe is always listening, whether you're conscious about it or not. Whatever goes unconscious or is sitting in the subconscious and is active is always being served without a delay, right? Without any differences. And that purity is what is the ultimate truth about nature. It always serves you the result of what you are actually asking it to, from your energy, by your vibration. So, what kind of relationship do you want with your siblings moving forward? Be clear about it, absolutely clear, and then just let the universe handle it. So, that's why I'm saying you need to open yourself up fully, without any biases, without any pointing fingers at them. Just know that when you say it, it will happen, because that's the direction you're taking, your energy will take, right? So, do those three questions, write those three questions, write the answers, reflect upon them, and see how you feel. And like I always say, share with the group here, share with someone who is close to you, talk to them about it, get into the conversation, see how it opens you up, see what goes through inside you, and then come back to these lives, on a daily basis, look at or replay the previous lives, and learn something more, go deeper, That's the whole point, right? So let's do a transformation practice, the micro transformation practice that we always intend to do at the end. And we'll call this a whisper ritual. Okay, a whisper ritual. So tonight, before you sleep, whisper just one thing you wish they knew. Just one thing. Don't create a list, just one thing that you wish that your brother or your sister knew. Say it out loud with no one else listening, right? Maybe it's maybe it is I miss you. And just mean it. It I forgive you. And then mean it. I'm open whenever you are. And then mean it. Respect it. And then just let your energy speak where the words have not been able to reach, right? Let it go in the direction where you could not go, right? Energy is non-physical. It has no borders, right? It can reach anywhere, anytime. And that's why when you form an intention, see, you are an energy makeup, right? You are a result, a product of energy. So what you see as physicality is not physicality. Physicality is an experience of the non-physical. So you are essentially non-physical. The physicality is only an experience, and so is it is true for your brothers and sisters. They are physical for experience, but they actually are energy. So when you in your energy are communicating with them, you are communicating with their energy, not to their physical body, but to their energy. And that energy is the source, is the soul. So when your purity of intent connects with their purity of intent, they understand each other. And then your brother or sister is going to receive the the message from their soul, their energy, and you will be receiving your message and um, the intentions from your soul, your energy, and you both will be inspired to take certain actions that will result in what you came here to do. It could be that you don't want to connect with each other anyways. That may have been your soul contract. But it could also be that since you have purity of intent to connect, you could both be inspired to connect with each other. That's how it happens. That's what synchronicity is all about, right? And that's why I say that let your energy speak where words haven't been able to reach. Because because sometimes healing begins in the quiet, right? It does begin in the quiet. You don't know what this quiet is about. It is about your own growth also. It could mean that it's a start of another phase of your journey. And in order to do that, you need a little bit of silence so that you can plan, you can see where you're going, where you have been. That silence could just mean that as well. Not every silence means a bad thing, right? So it's not always about being bad. Silence can also mean something good, a growth in you. Therefore, you can reflect back and look at others, even your brothers and sisters, from a new dimension, from a new perspective, from a new energy, from a new understanding, from a new awareness, right? That silence could mean that as well. And that's what happened with me. That is the reason why I'm here today. Whatever I have gone through my life, I did not think about that as suffering. Pain, yes. Suffering, no. Suffering is my choice. Pain is something I'm feeling, but suffering is not where I want to stay. I want to grow from that. And that's what I'm doing. That's the reason I'm sharing these things with you, so that you can also grow and not suffer, right? So we're going to end it today at this point, and tomorrow we will dive deeper into how siblings become strangers and what no one warned you about. Tomorrow is going to be interesting. You do want to just see if you can connect online live, if possible. So, how siblings become strangers, that's the point or topic for tomorrow. We'll uncover how time, pride, pain, and patterns drive a wedge, right? And how to stop that drift before it becomes permanent. We we are always about prevention, right? At least I am. It's not that I don't allow the life to take its own course or direction. I do. And if that means deviating and going away from someone, I allow myself and allow them to go away from each other, because I know at the end of the day, it's all about harmony with the intention that we all came here for or with, right? But at the end of the day, we will know, right, how certain elements play a part in our distances. So we'll uncover, like I said, how the time, the pride, the pain, and especially the patterns cause these shifts or drifting, and we will know how they can be prevented before they become permanent. So tomorrow we are going to talk about that. But for today, that is it. If you like this live, please like it. Drop a comment if something touched your heart, like I always say, and share it with someone who is carrying this silence, right? Who is carrying the sibling silence, and join the Healing Sibling Bonds Focus group that we have, and the Healing Sibling Bonds YouTube channel that we have, and Simplified Relations website. You're going to see a lot of information in these channels. And remember, as always, the word hope, HOPE, help one person every day. That's what we are about. Help one person every day. So let today's person be your sibling, even if they don't know it yet. Let them, help them with your energy, right? Do that. So today, let that person be your sibling, and do it with intent, with energy, with purity, and see what happens. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed life, blessed evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And let us know how these lives are helping you and touching your lives or anybody else's life in your experience. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have fun. Namaste, everyone. Bye.